Thanks.
There's only one way to finish the final leg of the Tarleton Athletics season, and that is with our conference champions inside the 4x400, one of the first conference champions inside Tarleton Athletics history. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside another exciting edition of To The Point, brought to you by the Edge Apartments. Today, I'm joined by Brandon McKissick, Zach Martinez, and Anterius Brown, 3/4 of our 4x400 squad. As we got to throw a shout-out to Bailey Smalltack, too, for holding it down in that fourth leg. Boys, congratulations on the conference championship, first and foremost. We're going to go Brandon, and then down the line, y'all running for answers in this one. So first, you got to take us through the WAC Championship, your thoughts on the race, and kind of what was going through your head during your leg of it.
I guess for me, just being at that conference, I was so used to running against the LSE guys. You know, being a freshman when I first came in there, they were all super nice because they were all friends with AB and Zach, and so those teams were really nice to us. But the teams at the WAC were just as nice. I think it was Utah that right before the race came up to us and said, like, welcome to the conference. You know, it's a big deal being here. Can't wait to race against y'all. And so just seeing like another team being so sportsmanlike right off the get-go, I thought it was a really big deal for us as well. But I had to kind of brush that aside pretty quick to get my mind back into the race. And honestly, during the race, it was once out of the blocks, I didn't realize what had gone on until I handed off to AB, and then I looked back and I didn't see anyone like really around. And I was just like, I thought I was like teleported for a second. I was like, oh, okay. And then he just took off and he did his thing. So yeah, it was pretty awesome.
And also for me, I say the energy. He set the tone as far as Brandon. Running first leg and I'm second, so he always set the tone, and I feed off that energy when he kicks on that last 100. So it's just for me, like, I know he's going to get after it, so I was like, man, I got to get after it too, you know, just feeding off the energy. And I love the WAC. The WAC actually has a lot of more energy than the LSE conference that we were in. So I'll say that the WAC it felt pretty much like felt like home. And we just want to get the same respect that everyone else had. So, and I'm gonna just leave right there.
No, the whole year we really preached on winning the 4x4. That's like always our goal is to win the 4x4 at conference. So really going into it, we just had that mindset already. And then on my leg, I saw Brandon take off, get a lead, then AB extended that lead. So I was just running scared for my life basically up there with the lead. I was trying to make sure I didn't lose a single bit that they had gotten for us. So I just pushed through and then handed it off to Bailey, and then Bailey brought it home for us.
Okay, boys, we're going to talk a lot more about your time on the track and here at Tarleton. We look away right now, getting into summer. Things are much different this summer than they were last summer. Take us through how you are all spending your summers away from Tarleton.
For me, whenever COVID came off, I had just gotten home. Didn't really do much. I stayed with school. And then actually a year ago today, I went in for an interview. I had a job over the summer. I did our normal training, just trying to stay in shape. But it just seemed so long, and I was just getting way too anxious, getting ready to get back on the track because, I mean, we had missed the whole season already as is. And just trying to, I was thinking of ways that I could always make myself better, trying new little workouts here and there just to see if I could tweak something to make it better. And so my mindset right off the bat was just, this summer is way too long. You need to get back, focus, and just kind of try to stay in a good mindset coming into the year.
Yeah, as for me, coming back home to my family is just the main thing, because it took time off, especially with a short season, but it felt kind of long, like a full season, indoor and outdoor, even though we didn't have an indoor. So it's just like taking time off my son, you know, just kind of took a toll on me. But I just, this summer, I'm really taking advantage of my son and my family. And also, like, my plans is to keep running. Running is just making me happy right now. So I'm planning on running for USA Track and Field here pretty soon. I had a meet last week, but it got rained out. But I'm staying in shape. Just staying in shape and keeping my mind sharp. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, this summer I'm gonna be actually working for a little like doggy daycare center. So that's gonna be my main job this summer. I'm gonna be getting my little summer cash for the school year and all that. But really just doing some light training over the summer. Nothing too heavy to injure myself. I still want to be able to progress throughout the season and peak late when I need to.
So one thing I found interesting, Zach, and you have this in common with Gentry Munden, actually. While diet's a big part of the game for y'all, the one thing you like to splurge with is pizza. So you got to take us inside where the go-to pizza spot is and what your favorite kind is.
Okay, so when I'm really trying to splurge on some pizza, I'll go to Cam's in Stephenville because Cam's you can't beat Cam's in Stephenville. That oven fired pizza is the best right there. But when I'm balling on a budget, Domino's or Little Caesars is my go-to. But you always got to get it with double pepperoni all the way for sure.
There we go. We got 3 options, and we want to answer though. I like it. One thing that y'all talked about y'all enjoy doing in your free time is y'all like playing video games. When y'all get together and are online, I got to ask, what are the go-to games that y'all like to turn to on the sticks?
For me, it's going to be strictly Call of Duty. That's all I play. Everyone asks if I ever play like 2K or I just tell them no. Like I've never been into the sports games. It's always like it used to be like somewhat racing, and I mean it's just basically strictly Call of Duty. That's what I like.
Yeah, I'm the same as Brandon. I'm just strictly Call of Duty. So it's just, I mean, that's just our go-to. Like we'll hop on zombies. You know what I'm saying? We hop on zombies, get it going. We really play like half a day. Like half our day is really gone when we play zombies together. So it's just time consuming, but I love it. So.
See, I haven't been on Xbox and I haven't turned on my Xbox for probably like 4 months probably. But when I did, I jumped on Call of Duty with them when they forced me to. But I'm more of like a FIFA, UFC type of guy. I like those games like that.
Y'all also said that y'all are into Marvel as well. That's one of the go-tos with the movies. I asked each of y'all to land on one Marvel movie. What's the favorite? I love it, AB. What's the favorite for all 3 of y'all, though?
I mean, it's definitely in the Thors. I like Thor's Ragnarok just because it kind of had like a retro style to it. But also, like, you can't go wrong with any of the Thors. I think he's my guy, man. I just go to Thor every time. Any of those Thors, those are my go-tos.
Yeah, I like my go-to is Captain America. Like the whole series, Civil War, Winter Soldier, all those. It's just like a little like modern, and it's like it just fits me. So I was like, yeah, I like it. So.
See, I was gonna say Thor Ragnarok because that's just the funniest one to me. That one has me laughing all the way to the end right there.
So we know some of the flicks that y'all like to watch, and I asked all of y'all if they made a movie about the 4x400 squad, who's got to play all of y'all. And Brandon landed on Matthew McConaughey. AB, you were thinking Michael B. Jordan was kind of in your target range. And Zach, I loved your answer. You wanted to go Will Smith, but said you got to go with Jaden because you're not quite tall enough. So I love this self-awareness there. So I had to ask y'all, though, we couldn't get Bailey Smalltech with us today, but I said y'all got to pick an actor for him. So who is it that's playing Bailey in the movie made about y'all?
It's going to be Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. If we can't land Leo, then it's going to be Brad Pitt for sure.
I love because y'all were all keyed in on the same 2 guys when I asked that question to y'all. It's great. We're catching up with Brandon McKissick, Zach Martinez, and Anterius Brown. You're 4x400 WAC champions, winning that a couple of weeks ago down in Edinburgh. Guys, I asked all of y'all about your dream vacation, and they were all very different answers, but y'all all had very specific reasons why. So, Brandon, get us started. You were telling us that you really want to go to Italy, but you were very specific on where in Italy.
Yeah, so mainly where all the different kinds of wines are made, like the worldwide wines, just going and seeing all those different kind of vineyards and stuff and how long they've been there. Because, I mean, it's a history of their own. like America, you got the history with their kind of different alcohols and their whiskeys and stuff. But for Italy, I mean, they're globally known for their wines and the different kind of atmosphere and how pretty it is out there. And that's always been a dream for like me and my mom. And we're thinking about doing that as like a senior trip. But I mean, I think over there it's beautiful, the landscape and everything.
Yeah, and as for me, I'm a beach kind of guy, so I love Bora Bora, and it's just peaceful, man. I love the ocean, the blue little cabin, scenery. You wake up on the ocean. I was like, yeah, that's me right there. So the little palm tree vibe, get you a little tropical feeling. So yeah, that's all me right there. I go with that.
And then mine was the Caymans, and mine's kind of a different reason why I would go to the Caymans. So I had a chance to go to the Cayman Islands in high school my junior year with one of my buddies, but it was at the beginning of two-a-day season. So my coach gave me the option of either missing 2 days and going to the Caymans, but I would miss like the first 3 or 4 games. But I couldn't do that. Skipping out on my trip to the Caymans with my buddies and then enduring 2-a-days in the hot August sun. So it's just always been in the back of my mind that I wanted to go to the Caymans, even though I should have. I missed it,
Yeah, we know that the beach is obviously what y'all would like to do in your free time if we had a little bit more of it here in the Metroplex and around Stephenville. AB, you told me that whenever you have the chance in your free time, you love to spend it with your son. What are the activities y'all like to get into whenever y'all get the opportunity carved out to spend some father-son time?
Definitely. Well, we recently took a trip actually before the conference meet to San Antonio, and we just took him to like a park. It was like a Wonderland park, and it was just like the little water, like water, I don't know, it's like some type of water like stuff that shoots out, and they get to play with it. It's just different, like it's kind of like a museum as well. And since he's only 10 months, we can play with him like just a little here and there. Like he's barely crawling, so we just shoot him around like a spaceship. So that's pretty much all we do with them, and just take him a walk on the park or something. So yeah.
Glad you're getting an opportunity to do that now during the off season. Brandon, one thing that made you different than the guys, both Zach and AB were telling me that they did a lot of running when they were young, but you told me you really didn't get into the game until middle school. What was it that kind of pushed you to running competitively?
Well, I mean, my parents didn't, I can't talk about it. I always did football and baseball. I never really looked at track. So I was playing football and baseball as soon as I could pick up a ball or a bat. And so I never looked really into track until it came to middle school. And then my mom was like, oh, you should try out for the track team. And that's whenever I was at Wiley Middle School. And we already had to do like running and stuff, activities for PE. And I would always beat all the guys. And so they just told me to run. So I was actually doing hurdles, and I did hurdles through middle school. And then freshman year of high school, I didn't run track. My friend told me to come run track. That's when I moved to Liberty Hill, so I wasn't Leander. And I ran hurdles my sophomore and junior year, and we got a new coach my senior year. Told him I didn't want to run hurdles anymore. And then he said, okay, well, I'll put you in sprint relays. You're going to run all of them, so you got to run the 400 if you're going to train for the 4x4. And I told him, okay. And then the first meet I ran at, I got second. And then the second meet, I got first. And he's like, well, this is going to be your race from now on. And so that's when I was stuck with it. So, I mean, my senior year is when I finally ran the 400. But, I mean, it was pretty fun at the time. It still is.
You got the late start, but you're moving fast in the track career, even though middle school is when you got it going. Guys, you all had very unique ways that you got here to Tarleton. Kind of take us about how you landed here in Stephenville with your track careers and how you became a Texan.
Well, for me, it was whenever I came and visited at Tarleton with my best friend. I loved the campus. I immediately wanted to go there. I was doing good in the track season, and so I thought, why not try to go run for the track team and just keep it going, stay in shape. And so I emailed Coach Ponder, and then the next day he called me, said he wanted to meet, pass information and everything. And so that's what led me to become more of a Texan, was to be part of this team.
Yeah, as for me, it's a little bit different. Since I was coming from Alcorn State in Mississippi, and I was actually coming from a D1. And I didn't really, I just wanted better training and more one-on-one coaching who knows like my body and stuff like that. So my uncle was a perfect reference. He was referencing Coach Ponder, that he's an actual good coach, and he actually was trained by him. So I was just like, okay, well, I've never met the guy. I've never been to Tarleton, never been to Stephenville. And I'm just like, what am I getting into, you know? So it's just like, it was just on site, like literally on site. So it wasn't until like a couple days before we started going to school that I actually met Coach Ponder, and he just got me enrolled, and we just kicked off from there. And he saw the greatness in me, and he wanted me to get better, and it was a show after that.
Yeah. So for me, at the time, my second long jump, triple jump coach was coaching at Baylor at the time, and then he ended up, by the time it was my senior year and I was getting recruited, he was the assistant coach under Coach Ponder at Tarleton, and he realized I still needed to be recruited. Like I wasn't really getting that many offers, so he reached out to me, got me for a visit immediately up there. I loved the school, loved Coach Ponder, loved Coach Gibson. So then after that, that was the only place I was going to go. So I knew right off the bat that I was going to go to Tarleton, and then been here for 4 years, and I love it. Like couldn't imagine myself going anywhere else, honestly, but Tarleton.
So, Brandon, you were very specific. I asked all of y'all if there was a design for the squad next year for the uniforms. And AB and Zach went straight to you and said, I know Brandon's got this. So give us the design and give your pitch to Coach Ponder real quick, what y'all need to be in next year.
All right, Coach Ponder. I've actually thought about this for a while, but I mean, I'm going to stick with those matte colors because I really like them. And instead of, I do like our label, our symbol, to be in either a chrome lettering or just chrome patched with matte or matte on matte. But also throw in like a retro style to where it just says Tarleton across our chest or just the symbol. Because in high school, we went with like a really retro style, and we went from wearing all these fancy, weird purple, gold uniforms to just wearing a gold with purple bottom, and it just said Liberty Hill. And so, I mean, I think that retro style that just says who you are, I think that's really cool. But yeah, I mean, going with kind of those matte colors on a shiny color so people can see, a little shine off you. All they're going to see is a nice little shine blur as you run by. It'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, so this was a unanimous decision. Brandon with the design, but everyone was on board for this one. So we're going to talk a little bit about this 4x400 squad. I asked some questions about, who the smartest was on the squad, and it took y'all a second, but AB kind of jumped up and said, Brandon and I have the same major, and he's kind of shown out a couple of times. So, AB, you got to take us inside, and Brandon, you got to kind of give us the tips on how you're holding it down on the academic side of things.
So it's me telling y'all?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, for me, absolutely, me and Brandon has the same major. I even asked him some questions because we had the same class. Actually, this past semester, just on a little, on some questions about a project, and he really got straight to it. And I was like, this guy here, he's really, yeah, I could see me in the future, asking for some help. But he's actually, like, we already knew that he was actually smart, just the way he talk and carry himself. And it's just it's amazing. I mean, just looking at the young guys, as far as Brandon and Zach, Zach is also pretty smart too. And, so obviously, we should be smart because we're in a 4-year university. Brandon is actually, Brandon is very intelligent.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, you got to give us the inside, though. How you keeping it up in the classroom, man?
I keep it pretty consistent, but I can't give all the credit to myself. My freshman year, I struggled a little bit. It was a big jump into this. Kind of just wanted to hang out with my friends, but then I've been in a pretty serious relationship after that. And she is way smarter than I am. She's on that 4.0 listing. And so I'm just like, all right, well, you're getting really good grades. I got to get really good grades. She always, she pushes me as well. But also, I mean, my parents, they tell me, you don't make this, you're done. And so I'm always just worried about that. My dad's pretty stone cold when it comes to that. So he doesn't mess around. I know whenever he tells me if I don't make this, then you're done. I'm not gonna, I'll be done. So I got to make it, if not way better than what he expects.
Oh, man. So the other thing that I thought was really cool was the way that y'all met. It was kind of similar, but kind of different at the same time. And Zach, you were telling me that you were getting some weird looks from AB the first time that y'all met. He couldn't really believe at first that you ran track. You got to take me through.
Yeah. So it was me and AB actually ended up being up in the same freshman hallway, 2 doors down from each other. But we didn't know each other ran track until we did our little introduction ceremony with our little hallway group. So I stand up. I'm Zach, Waco, Texas, blah blah blah. I came here to run track, and AB's peering over at me from the side, like, what the heck? This guy's here to run track. This 5'9", 150-pound kid's running track. So then he stands up. He's running track too. So then I stare at him. He looks like a track runner, though. I thought he was a football player, honestly, though, with how big he is. So we introduced each other after that. Then it was just bread and pudding right there. We were friends after that for sure. We were hanging out every day, taking my Xbox into his room, playing Fortnite. It was good.
AB, you told me you kind of had a similar feeling about Brandon when y'all were on the road together. You hadn't quite seen him show out on the track yet. But once again, it's the same thing with Zach. Once you saw, you realized dude can run.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we needed an alternate for our 4x4 because someone got injured. And I really didn't get a chance to get that connection with Brandon. It wasn't really just me not liking him or anything, but it was actually I wanted to see what he could do. And I just wanted to know where his head was at as far as being great and on the 4x4. And he actually proved me wrong. I didn't think he was in the right headspace the night before a conference meet before the OG squad. I didn't know that his head was right, but he obviously proved me wrong. And he bust out a split that everyone was actually shocked. And and we was just amazed, and we was just talking about it for 3 weeks straight. And I was just he gained my respect. Which he already did, but I respect him even more after that. And then we just clicked right after that. We actually had chemistry. I even coached him up a little bit on the little things, and he's a fast learner. So it was just man, this kid is great. And after that, it was history.
Another person that y'all all have a lot of respect for is Pat Ponder, your head coach, who helped lead y'all into this first Division I season. And I had to ask, y'all couldn't really land on a memory because there's so many with Coach. So I asked all y'all to find a go-to saying or piece of advice that y'all gotten from Coach that's really stuck with you. Y'all got to take me through.
So the one he used the most my freshman year was, I was born at night, just not last night. And I can't tell you how many times he said that to us. It was almost every meeting that he would always talk about people not getting their study hours. And then he would just be like, I'm not done, people. I was born at night, just not last night. And I mean, it was just so much. He's kind of a away from that one from now. I guess he might have overused it for a little bit. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, one that actually stuck with me was the one where it was called ERW, and he actually before a meet, like he was on the bus and he actually wanted people to compete. That's the main thing he wanted, was to compete, and he didn't want someone to just be on the bus, eat, ride, watch, which is ERW. He didn't want you to eat, and then he didn't want you to just ride, and he just didn't want you to watch. He actually wanted you to compete. So it was just really funny on how he just laid out that whole little line there. But it actually stuck with me. I was like, yeah, I got to compete. I can't just be an ERW. So it was just pretty funny.
Yeah, I would have to say my favorite was the ERW too, because he hasn't really used that a lot with Brandon since he's been here, since he's a little younger than us. But freshman and sophomore year for me and Brandon, and ERW was brought up quite a bit because he really just wanted to see that competitive nature really come out of us. He wanted to really see us get out there and compete and try to win conference championships. And we didn't have any ERWs this year on the team. That's for sure. We were all out there competing. We're real hungry this year.
Yeah.
I was going to say, y'all might be eating and riding, but y'all are doing far from watching. Y'all are winning conference championships inside the Western Athletic Conference. Guys, before we move on to kind of your future plans once you get outside of Tarleton, we got to talk about the fourth leg. Bailey Smalltech won't be with us to help close it out and give us that last leg like he does for y'all so often. Talk about his impact. Wish we could have had him here today, but I know he plays such a large role in this 4x400 team as well.
Absolutely. We didn't even have him on the Texas relays. We actually had another leg, Alan Palmer, on our team, but we actually Bailey had stepped up to the plate, and he proved his worthiness on the 4x4, and he actually wanted to get out and go get it. And he actually been training with us actually for a while, and due to COVID restrictions and protocols, he even took weeks off, and he wasn't really in the type of shape that we thought he would be in, but he actually came back and actually performed very well. And I take my hat off to him. He's amazing, just amazing. It just gave me chills on just, I was just telling him, I'm proud of you, man, proud of you. And it just, and I kind of teared up a little bit, but I was just saying, I'm proud of you, bro. That's it.
Yeah, Bailey was crazy. We came in the beginning of this year, and I knew it was just going to be like me, AB, Zach, and we were like, oh, well, who's going to be our fourth leg? And then very first day of practice, we had to do a 60-second all-out run. And I went first, and I ran like 450 meters. And then nobody had gotten close, and then all of a sudden, Bailey passed that. And I was like, well, there we go. Like, he's going to be up because he was always with distance. And so it was just different seeing him with us. But, I mean, he came out immediately proving that he wanted a spot. And then, like AB was saying, whenever the COVID restrictions and missing a couple of weeks, he came back a little bit weaker than normal.
Yeah.
But he trained so much harder. I remember it was only like a week that he would stay behind me and Zach. And then next thing we know, he's right up next to us again, pushing through the workouts and doing more than we could ask him to do. So he was just incredible with how much he could come back, how much it took
and
off.
on top of that, he's also a nursing major too. So he's juggling all his nursing classes and keeping his GPA up, and then having to juggle that with track and workouts and weightlifting and all that too. So props to Braley for all he's doing. And then also just on the track, he was really motivated because he wanted to win that 4x4 just as much as us, and he proved it.
Yep, he did.
Bailey Smalltech, shout out to him along with the rest of our champions of the 4x400 inside the Western Athletic Conference. Boys, before we wrap it up, take us through ideas of what's going to be going on once you move on from Stephenville. I know still some plans here, but once you wrap it up, any idea what you guys are going to do once you move on?
For me, it's hopefully going to be moving back around where I'm at. I like that small town feel. I'm working with Dell right now as an intern, and I hope to further that whenever I graduate. I want to come back, work for Dell, work my way up in a different department. I'm in sales right now, but I'd like to be able to go to like the DoD contracting team and work from there, but that's probably my plan for me.
Oh yeah, for me, I'm pretty sure Brandon would be my connection. You know what I'm saying? Since we got the same major and stuff like that, but that would be kind of like a secondary thing that I want to do. But as far as that, I really want to keep running. You know, running just makes me happy, and I'm planning on going pro. I'm already in the mix of now, just getting my agents together, you know, getting the time down. And I just feel like I can do it. You know, I just want to be the first one in my family to actually be, you know, a legit pro athlete, and to be able to put food on my plate. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a hungry. I'm still hungry, man. Just still hungry, and we keep pushing.
Yeah, so for me, it's after I graduate with my master's in sports administration, I'd really like to come back to Waco and coach and teach for a little bit, and then work my way up to becoming an athletic director for a high school here or a district, possibly.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for giving me the time, and congratulations on the conference championship. Looking forward to much, much more in the future.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Brandon McKissick, Zach Martinez, and Anterius Brown holding it down for Pat Ponder. Also Bailey Smalltech as well. A shout out for that 4x400 WAC Championships group of your first WAC champions inside Tarleton track and field. Be sure to follow Tarleton Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up with all your news and notes regarding Coach Ponder's squad and all of your Tarleton Athletics squad. That's going to wrap up to the point. Thank you to our friends at Edge Apartments for bringing us to us. For Brandon McKissick, Zach Martinez, and Anterius Brown, this is Kyle Cruz saying so long.